Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Dzair Live, and welcome to this English news edition. First, in our top stories, the death toll of Algerian pilgrims injured at the Mecca stampede seems to be on the rise, as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a communique in which it said that another Algerian pilgrim who suffered from wounds passed away, bringing the death toll to 25. The communique also pointed it out that 18 other Algerian pilgrims are being treated at Saudi Arabian hospitals in the same context. A thorough search between Algerian authorities present there and Saudi authorities is underway to locate and identify missing pilgrims. The Ministerial Council approved the 2016 finance law, which includes the expectations of an increase in exports of hydrocarbons as well as a decrease of management budget by 9%, in addition to energy-related budgetary restrictions in light of the current financial crisis. Hence, Minaras.
Yesterday's Ministerial Council, headed by the President of the Republic, wrapped up with the ratifying of the primary draft of 2016 finance law. Algeria will thus be witnessing a new era of austerity following the falling oil prices. The government's newest approach was reflected in the decision to boost hydrocarbons productions. This concerns the 12 contract signed on July 28th between the National Agency for the Valorization of Hydrocarbons and Sonatrach for hydrocarbons drilling and exploitation in 12 fields through the provinces of Ouargla, Tamarast, Adrar El-Biad, Bashar, and Elize, with a view from the government to achieve additional cost-effective in the field of hydrocarbons, both through the short and medium-term program, by producing 224 million tons by 2019, owing to the recovery of energy-related duties, notably Hassim Saoud and Hassim Al oil fields, and quicken the pace of fields exploitation and progress. Meanwhile, the Cabinet also approved the draft law on investment. The bill foresees increases in prices and taxes of several products, including related taxes on the import of such products from secondary need, as well as taxes on mobile phones and fuels. The overall balance of the Treasury will be a deficit of 2,452 billion dinars. Resultantly, budget expenditures will decrease by more than 9% to reach 48,073 billion dinars. Despite financial pressures, social transfers are expected to increase by 7.5% to 23% of the state budget, particularly in the housing sector. Otherwise, subsidies to families related to basic products such as cereals, milk, and sugar will be maintained. A budget will also be devoted to the support of public health with a budget of 316.5 billion dinars. The draft budget law also contains provisions simplifying procedures, particularly as regards payment of taxes, tax control, and treatment of tax appeals.
The Minister of Industry and Mines Abdeslam Bouchouareb announced in Annaba, Eastern Algeria, that all the shares of ArcelorMittal Algeria have been transferred as from Wednesday to the Algerian public group Mittal and Steel Industries. Mohamed Baraswan.
The decision of capital transfer, which ends the partnership with international steel group ArcelorMittal, has been taken as Algeria looks for the best way to relaunch the national steel industry and to reach the objectives of bringing the annual production of steel products up to 10 million tons. The operation is designed to allow Algeria to reach self-sufficiency and curtail imports by the year 2017, the minister told the news briefing at Al Hajar complex.
وأعلن لكم اليوم رسميا يوم 7 أكتوبر 2015.
After several rounds of negotiations and consultations between the relevant authorities and the Al Hajar-based ArcelorMittal Group, I would like to announce officially that as from today, Wednesday, October 7th, 2015, all the shares of ArcelorMittal Algeria, ArcelorMittal Tbessa and those of AMTA ArcelorMittal Pipes and Tubes of Annaba have been taken over by the Algerian public group Mittal, the Mittal and Steel Industries Company, with immediate effect. The new name of 100% Algerian Steel Company will be formally announced by late December 2015.
إلى المجمع الجزائري إيميتال
As from today, Wednesday, the nature of the partnership with world group ArcelorMittal will be only technical until the public group Imital announces the new name of new 100% Algerian steel company by late December 2015. The Minister of Industry and Mines, Mr. Bouchouara, paid us from Wednesday a working visit to Annaba province, where he inspected the smooth running of companies Ferrovial, specialized in wagons manufacturing, and Cital, specialized in trams assembling, as well as a local private unit of electrical equipment.
In international cooperation news, Algeria and the United States have signed the Treaty on Mutual Legal Assistance between both countries, a move that the US president calls a modern agreement in judicial affairs. The two countries agreed to investigate and prosecute a wide variety of crimes in order to improve the judicial code. Siam Sadou for more details.
When U.S. President Barack Obama addressed the message in the previous Congress held last Monday in New York, concerning the Senate Council's agreement, the letter reiterated the importance of the Treaty on Mutual Legal Assistance between Algeria and the United States, what the U.S. president calls a modern agreement between both countries in judicial affairs, affirming that the United States will definitely support Algeria in all the penal affairs. The Treaty on Mutual Legal Assistance between Algeria and the United States of America, which was signed in Algiers on April 7, 2010, serves to enhance the ability of the two countries to investigate and prosecute a wide variety of crimes. Barack Obama stated in a message to the U.S. Senate Council that the treaty is one of a series of modern mutual legal assistance negotiated by the United States to react more effectively towards counter-criminal activities. For his part, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Ramtan Lamamra said that the treaty will guarantee better results when it comes to cooperation in criminal matters with the U.S. Under the treaty, the parties have agreed to support each other providing evidence such as testimony, documents or items, notably for detainees, those who are in detention abroad or those who try to flee their country. Both Algeria and U.S. will provide all the necessary conditions for investigation and identification, especially concerning criminals. President Barack Obama also recommended the U.S. Senate to give early and favorable consideration to the treaty, granting its advice and approval.
Moving on to world news, Russia has fired cruise missiles at targets in Syria in a major display of military power, with warships in the Caspian Sea more than 1,200 kilometers away carrying out the attacks. Russia says it is targeting the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant group, but at least some of its airstrikes have reportedly hit Western-backed armed groups. This is the first news of Russia using its navy in its Syria campaign since it began building up its military forces in Syria. Airstrikes hit a wedding celebration in Yemen, killing at least 30 people and leaving dozens more unaccounted for, local officials said. The bombing Wednesday struck the wedding as it took place in Sana'a Bani, a southwestern Yemeni town in an area controlled by Houthi rebels, according to 3 local security officials. Local hospitals have been overwhelmed with victims. The officials also said the Houthis are locked in a bitter conflict with forces loyal to the government of Yemen's deposed president. The pro-government fighters have the support of a Saudi-led coalition that has been bombing the Houthi-led areas since March. It wasn't initially clear who had carried out the strikes on Sana'a Bani. Coalition forces said they have no ongoing operations in the southwestern province in Yemen where the incident occurred. President Obama personally apologized on Wednesday to the head of Doctors Without Borders for what he described as the mistaken bombing of its field hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan, promising a full investigation into the episode, which took the lives of nearly 24 doctors and patients. But 5 days after an American AC-130 gunship devastated the medical facility, Mr. Obama's personal expression of regret in a telephone call from the Oval Office appeared to do little to satisfy the leader of the doctors group, who issued a tears statement saying the president's apology had been received. And finally, to wrap it up, FIFA has provisionally suspended its presidents, Blatter's Secretary General John Valke and Vice President Michel Platini, for 90 days. Former FIFA Vice President Chang Mong-jun has been banned for 6 years and fined 1,100 Swiss francs. The punishment were handed out by the Ethics Committee of football's world governing body. Blatter, Blakey and UEFA President Platini are being investigated by the committee over corruption allegations. The three are banned from any football activity in the interim, but they deny any wrongdoing. The end of our English news edition, brought to you live from Dzair News Channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.